Hey guys, good morning. It's Eldon back here with another episode of Crazy Dad's Garage. And today I'm out on a discovery mission. I had to take a trip out to western Oklahoma, and I'm actually just over the border in Colorado right now at an old friend's ranch. And I'm just going to show you kind of some of the material that's out there for us to do our projects with. It's yeah, these places are kind of hard to find, but some of us have connections. We know where to look. This ranch belongs to an old friend of my dad's family, and this guy was the local fix-it guy besides being a rancher. And so his place is just full of old stuff. There is metal and projects and things to build everywhere. Over here behind me, I just noticed a whole stack of old drive shafts. So all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to flip the camera around here and just show you some of the fun stuff. This is barn find or field find time. And I'll talk with you about what I see on some of these projects and what we could do with them. But we'll flip the camera around and start right here with this old GMC that was behind me. Yeah, so this is another square body GMC. Not that you particularly want to go take this and make a project out of it for a rat rod, because it's so stinking big. I mean, you might, but different things you could do with it. But here's the fun thing. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but that cab on that truck, I believe, is a direct interchange for a cab on a pickup. And if it's not, it could be done so without a whole lot of modification. And I'll probably talk about it later on, but a lot of these big trucks aren't rusted out. And so you could find a cab like this, probably pick it up for pretty cheap, but you'd get one where the cab corners are good, where you don't have to replace the floor in it. Any number of things. Shoot, the seat's even halfway decent in this one. They're not quite as fancy as a lot of the others, but you could upgrade. Yeah, this one's had the roof caved in, so it's probably not a great candidate. But it actually might be easier to replace a roof than to do most of the floor repairs that ended up needing done and things. Anyway, that one's kind of a fun one that's sitting there. There's an old school bus. I haven't even looked at it yet. Let's go see what kind it is. Great storage unit, right? That's what a lot of these old things get looked for. Oh, Lodestar, so it's an international. I don't know if you'd ever really want to do anything with this, but these things are around. All right, I'm going to shut you off as I walk up through here and see what we find next. Look at all this fun material here. All of that, to me, potential rat rod stuff. Oh, hey, looky there, old side-by-side. Sweet. All right, we'll walk up through here, see what we find. Yeah, check this one out. This is, I'm going to guess a 65, 66-ish Ford. It's a 1-ton dually. That cab, I just walked around it. The cab is like pristine condition, nearly. No dents, no rust, hardly. Got a little bit of something right there where the mirror was attached to one time, but this thing's amazingly straight. Even the bumper's not in too bad a shape. Grill looks good. It's always fun to me what you find on these old ranches and farms and stuff, where people, especially get out here in a place like this where they there's no wrecking yard to haul stuff to within 150 miles of here, so they just pull them out in the back 40 and let them sit there and rot away. But this thing would be a lot of fun as a take that bed off of it, shorten it up a little bit, and maybe get the front lowered. That'd be an absolute fun driver to have around, to to just drive around, or to pull your hot rods on, or things like that. There's an old Chevy truck. So I've had a couple ideas that would be fun. So this is a square body, and when you look at it, you go, yeah, well, that's all different from a pickup. But I've always thought, you know what, it'd be kind of fun to take one of these things and pull the cab off of it. Because a lot of times on these old big trucks like this, they don't get the rust problems that everything else gets. But this is a square body. Did you ever see a square body with a small back window? Wouldn't that kind of be a novel difference to swap that cab onto your regular square body and come in here and this thing's actually in pretty dang good shape, even inside. That's funny. Door panels are still solid. Usually these get all rotted and gone by now. The seat's not even half bad. Got the one rip in it, but yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think that cab would swap onto a conventional square body pickup. There's another one over there, an old Dodge. Again, I'm always thinking about rat rod material. And that one, just looking at it, yeah, it's got kind of a big dent in the door, but nothing that's not fixable. No factory bumper. But man, that thing's not in too bad a shape either. A little bit of repaired damage right there. Little bit of damage on the hood. Roof looks like it's in good shape. No, doesn't want to open up. And you can't see anything in there very good. But anyway, another one. You could lose the bed off of it and start modifying it. Might be kind of fun. Anyway, those are the kind of things I'm looking at on this video. This old ranch is just loaded with them. I'm going to take a walk out over the hill here, going back out that way, and we'll show you what else we find out there. I'll be back in a second. Yeah, here's an old GMC. This is like my red one back home. And I hadn't looked at these as much, but yeah, this cab would not swap out with my pickup cab. And it's a little bit more damaged, but man, I'm just amazed that these are relatively rust free. This one's got a few bubbles down there, but stand back when I open the door because you never know what the heck might jump out at you. This one actually would have a lot of parts like in here that would swap out with mine if I needed to. Yeah, pretty cool. Might want to set air horns for your truck, right? Yeah. These are kind of fun. What do we got in here? Oh, we got a big block Chevy in this one. Yeah, it's probably a 396. Or maybe they're one of the bigger truck engines. Who knows? I don't know all the differences and designations on them. But anyway, that's another fun one in the collection. Let's keep going, see what we find. Yeah, here's what's back over this hill. We got, it's like 3 different ones out here. It's an old 1950s, possibly very early 60s. I haven't learned to identify these real clearly, but Ford. Yeah, it's got a little bit more rust problems, like down there in the fender. And there, kind of depends. We're up here near Colorado, and so a lot of these things could have been, could have actually seen a lot of time up in Colorado with a lot more snow before they ended up down here. I guess technically I'm actually still in Colorado. Didn't think about that. The Oklahoma border is right over there. But anyway, yeah, I can't get in there very good. Let's see. So there's an inside picture of the thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Can't see the floors good enough to tell how rusty they are, but again, the cab on this one would interchange with a pickup, and they're going to be a lot more solid than most pickups. And it's got a little bit of cab corner rust on it. The doors are pretty straight. Yeah, could be a fun project truck there. And let's see, we got a dent side Ford here. So what was interesting about these, I think this is the one. Yeah, there's a FE series Ford, probably a 360 or 390 in there. And been some body damage on it, somebody's fixed, so you need door on this one. Let's get around to the other side over there and I'll see if I can get a door open. Show you why I thought one of these would be kind of fun. Well, I don't know if I want to wade through that yucca plant to get to that door. Yeah, let's go back to the other side. Yeah, see, the roof's kind of caved, so this probably isn't a great candidate for what I'm talking about, but hopefully I can get this door open. I'll show you something here. These are an interesting, at least my brother has one. No, can't get that door open either. So, look inside of there. If you're familiar with dent side Fords at all, that's not a dent side Ford dash. That is more of a bump side dash. And these big commercial trucks that Ford was building back then, they actually, for whatever reason, they took a new dent side cab and used an old bump side dashboard in it. And I don't know if you get underneath of the dent side dashes, if they look like that. I don't think they do. But I thought, you know what, that would be kind of a fun swap to have this cab on a dent side, because you'd have something unique again. And so that's just one of the things that I've noticed over the years. It's been kind of fun to, you know, that would make something for something different. Here's another one. So a lot of you guys have, when I shortened the bed on the dent side earlier, you get comments about, well, you can do this and you can't do that, and you know, you need this sort of thing and that sort of thing. Well, here, this is really typical of these big farm and ranch trucks. This thing would have been significantly shorter than it is now. I'm trying to see where the cuts are. There's a cut there, and I think it was also cut about right here. And they've added this section into it. That's really typical. And then, so this one, they've got it, so they cut it, they welded the channel back up, and then they fish plated it. I can see 1, 2, 3 fish plates in there. And then this one has even got this big boxing plate on the outside of the frame here. But they do this kind of stuff all the time to these big farm trucks and never have major problems with them. And so that's the reason that I don't worry about shortening a bed in these videos that I'm doing and telling you about, because I've watched this my whole life be a super common thing that happens. And so you hear a lot of things about, well, the frames are made out of this kind of steel and that kind of steel. Yeah, maybe they are, maybe they're not. But this happens in the commercial and farming industry all the time. And so if we can do it on a big truck, why can't we do it on a small truck? All right. Here is a 4-wheel drive, 3/4 ton square body, or what's left of one. Don't know that this one would particularly be a great project truck. Although as I'm looking at it, there's no rust on the thing. Great starting point. It would actually be easier probably to swap this cab onto your frame than to do all the rust repair that us guys up in the northern half of the country end up doing a lot of times. That is actually, on this side, a very straight and rust-free body. Yeah, you're going to have to lose the fenders. Somebody already lost this one over here for you, so you won't have to worry about that. But, yeah, that could be very doable. That door's not good enough to save, but the cab all the way around is a great cab. Could really be an improvement over a lot of stuff that I see up in my neck of the woods. So there we are, we're out here in the middle of nowhere ranch land. Kind of fun to be out here and be able to just be literally where there aren't any other people around. Well, we're going to try back over there. Can't see it in the video. There's a little hillside that's probably got 10 or 20 more cars and trucks on it. I'm going to try to get back in there and see what they've got. That was the one I was originally intending to try to find, and got directed out to this one, which I didn't know existed. So we're going to walk back up here to the house, get in the truck, and drive down there to get a little closer to that, so we can be able to carry on and show you the rest of the video. All right, talk to you in a little bit. Well, there we go. You needed a good bed for your old 50s Ford. That looks like a fairly decent starting point. Oh, there's one for a Chevy or GMC. A lot of times, that actually says GMC down on the tailgate, and it's a long bed. But a lot of times, guys, when you're working on a old pickup and your bed's hammered, go out and look for one of these trailers where somebody's pulled the cab off and made a trailer out of it. But that bed, you could either use it on a long bed. Man, there's no rust in that thing. The front panels, yeah, it needs some work, but it's not too bad. They've bobbed the bottom of the fenders off, so you wouldn't want to do that. But that's in pretty decent shape, actually. Yeah, it's got a metal bed welded into it. But it might be way better shape than what you've got. And taking a bed like this and shortening it to fit your normal short box would not be a big challenge. You'd want to lose that stake pocket right there. But you cut that off, move the deal back there. Anyway, that's kind of the direction that I've seen going with a lot of them. Now, looky at this score right here. Holy cow. So I know Crazy Dads is all about cars and stuff, but I've got a deal for old tractors too. And just looking around here, take a chance. No, I don't think it's going to happen. So I actually learned to drive out here, working for my grandpa, and I learned to drive on a tractor just like that one right there, except his was a propane powered one, so it had a big propane tank cut into the hood right there. And I was thinking, this guy's my grandpa's neighbor. I wondered if he had ended up with that tractor by any chance. But so I'm not a great ID person. Oh, that is an 8N. So this is an old Ford 8N right there. You can see the number, which was the first of the Fords. Not the very first, I understand that, but the first of these modernized Ford tractors here. This one's interesting. I don't have any idea what it is. It is a 6-cylinder on what looks like the chassis of one of these. And I don't know, I'd have to dig into it a lot deeper, but that might be something that's just adapted to it, to an 8 or 9N chassis. This right here is actually an adapter plate for bell housing. But that's an old Ford flathead industrial 6-cylinder. And this tractor's been pretty heavily modified to work with it. And it's rusty and everything else. I don't know that I'd want to mess with it, but yeah, check that out. That's pretty cool. It's an old Massey Harris. Don't know anything about them. Holy cow, that's the one that caught my eye. That is another 8N, but that is, I think they call it a high crop type tractor. And that one kind of looks like it's homemade. But the basic chunk of the tractor right there is the same as that first one that we looked at over there. And it's been modified to work in an area where they need the clearance to get under stuff. This is a newer Ford called a 600. Not super familiar with them, but it's a bigger motor in it. Somebody's put some great big tires on this thing. I'll bet they were using this for a tractor pull rig, probably. Who knows? I might be wrong, but that's got a brand new set of huge tires on it. There is another little Ford, probably an 8N. Yep. Holy cow. I may have to see if I can grab one of these from my tractor collection. I would love to have one of those. Little Massey Ferguson 135. These little tractors fascinate me because they are fun. You know, I'm not a farmer, have no desire to be one, but I just like the fun of driving around. And something little like that you can park in your backyard or, you know, your shop or whatever, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, but they're fun to get out and putt around on. Farmall, I think an H, I'm not positive. There's a C right there and an A over there. Yeah, I can't tell for sure what this one is. I think it's an H. Yeah, there's an H on that right there, I think. Anyway, not that this is all totally interesting to you car guys, but it's a lot of fun for me. That was their next to their smallest normal tractor. They had one called a Cub, which it looks just like that, but it's a little smaller. And I spent a lot of time driving one of those. This one's interesting. I'm guessing this is a, oh, there it is. It's a 900, it says on the front. Propane powered one. Little Kubota. We used to have one like that when I was a kid that I drove a lot. There's a big John Deere back there. Big 2-cylinder Johnny Popper. Anyway, that's kind of fun for me. I don't know that it means a whole lot to anybody else, but what else do we got here? There's all kinds of fun stuff in this place. I love going and seeing what these old guys have collected over a lifetime. This guy's probably in his 90s now, I'm guessing. Well, let me walk down through here and see what else I find. Yeah, this isn't anything super special to me because it's not as old as I like to mess with, but for a lot of younger guys, this is actually an old truck. Anyway, it's an old 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive Ford. These kind of things are fun. Look at all this old shop equipment in here. I don't even know what all of it is, but a lot of fun stuff. Tailgate for a square body. Ooh, sheets and stuff of rat rod material. Fun, fun. All right, we'll see what else we can discover here on this place. Yeah, here's an old early 60s Ford. This one looks like it was a 1-ton. Not that anything spectacular here, except we've got a rust-free cab that's fairly straight. Roof's in good shape. Got a little bit of a dent back in the back there. Wow, the floors are really nice in here. So if you're working on one of these, finding a old truck like this that's not of much value as a project truck, but man, that would be a great cab if you had a rusty one, wouldn't it? We go up through here. Oh, I remember there's another fun project up in here. Not necessarily for you street rodders, but maybe some of you off-road guys would love this one. See all the fun old stuff stored out here. And I'm sure buried underneath all this that I don't even have time to look for right now. There's treasures everywhere. Old Yamaha dirt bike sitting in there. What is lawnmower? Check this out. Ha! An old Toyota FJ Land Cruiser. Yeah, I got some serious rust issues in the back of the body there, but you know what? It's not really rusty in the inside there. For some reason, it's just right back there on the tailgate, it looks like. Look at this thing. Man, this would be a great project. Somebody would love to have, I'm sure. These stupid things are worth a ridiculous amount of money right now. Huh. Yeah, gonna need a few patch panels on it in places. Fixed up, you know, these probably got used hard on a ranch out here, but you know what, there it is. Somebody's been trying to get it started, so the motor's probably okay. Tow bar on the front of it. Check that out. This thing's really not too bad a shape. That could be a pretty doable project. This depends on who they all belong to, actually, whether it's my rancher friend or one of his kids. That could make a difference. There you go. You want to restore an old refrigerator? Let's see. I just saw something else out here in the pasture. We'll go walk out and take a look at that. Yeah, I saw this one sitting out here earlier. Just saw it from a distance. Didn't realize it was a short bed. So this is a typical old farm and ranch truck, and it's been kind of beat up. The bed's not in great shape. Really needs a new door and definitely a fender on this side. But you don't see short beds a whole lot. And this is a F-150 four-wheel drive short bed. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work there, but oh, there's a good door. Fairly good door. Anyway, point is, you just don't find short beds very often. So it was sitting out here too, and I didn't realize that. Well, all right, let's go see what else we can discover. There's a pile of old fenders for that 8N out there. And I just had a realization too, the 8N was the second generation of the Ford tractors. The first one was a 9N. I think it had something to do with the years they were made in. But anyway, these are for those 8Ns, I'm assuming. Kind of fun. Look at all this junk out here. Let's go look at some of it in specific. Is this amazing? Yeah. Yeah, I walked by this pile of wheels earlier and didn't think a whole lot about it, but check this out, guys. Look at this. There's a lot of normal stuff in there, but I think those are Model A. Don't know what those are in specific, but some more of the Model A ones. Yeah. There's actually some real treasures in here. And then if you want to get real creative, how about you take yourself a tractor cab and figure out how to build something out of it? Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, I know. Kind of nutty, but hey. Need a street sweeper? Got you a street sweeper right there. All right. Well, let's go see what else we can find. All right, guys. This is the holy grail that I was looking for. So, back over there, you can see the cliffs over on the far edge. That is actually my grandfather's ranch that my cousin now owns. And for years, we'd come over there. There's a really cool little spring and a pond back in one of those side canyons. And we've come there because it's kind of an attraction on the ranch. And I've looked across this little valley and I've seen all these old cars over here. And been fascinated, but I've never been back in here. But I got permission to come back in today. We're about a quarter-mile walk off the dirt road that services these ranches back in here, down to this old windmill. And a really cool little valley in here. Fun side note, I think he said the day before yesterday, they actually saw a bear over there at the ranch house. A old black bear, which is really uncommon down in this area. There's not any forest here, but the bears and the mountain lions come back in these trees and in the canyons back here because there's a ton of deer back in here. Plus, they have access to the cows, which I haven't heard of them losing very many to the predators, but they're more concerned about coyotes back in here than they are mountain lions and bears. But anyway, side note, I digress. But here we go. We're coming up to this pile of cars and trucks, and judging by what I just saw from the top of the hill back there, this is going to be fun for me. field finds, I guess. Barn finds. Yeah, back east, probably barn finds. Out here, not as many barns. I guess there are quite a few, but more of this stuff gets drug out and left hanging out in the back 40 out here. So we had the dent side Ford over there that I showed you the difference in the dash and stuff. Well, this one looks like this cab's actually in way better shape than that one is. That one was. Roof on this one looks like it's in good shape. Doors are good. Holy mackerel, the cab, back of the cab is really nice. No rust in the cab corners, therefore probably no rust in the floors. Full of pack rats though, which could be a problem. Yeah, well, there we got a door open. So look at this. You guys that are familiar with dent side Fords, door panels look the same. You know, same ceiling and stuff, same seat, same window mechanisms, but that's, I'll have to actually look at a dent side pickup and see if it actually uses this same dash, but it's just got a dash pad and different gauges in it, or what. But I always thought that would be a fun alternative to build a dent side with one of these cabs. Nice doors on that thing. F700. Doesn't say it's a diesel, so it's probably got a 360 or 390 in it, would be my guess. Can't really get to where I can see it there. Anyway, yeah, this one's still got the original length frame on it. Look at the size of those back axles. Man, that's crazy. Air compressor tank for the air brakes. Dual cherry bombs on it. Check that out. Yeah. All right. So, hey, there's another one. Same thing. That one's a dump truck. Yeah, I'm going to have to see if I can catch up with this old friend. It might be worth trying to snag some of this stuff before he's gone. One of the things that's fun, the new rat rod style, is we're getting by, instead of buying expensive tube axles and stuff, we're able to pick up and use these old I-beam axles off of things that people were throwing away for the last 50 years. That actually do a disc brake swap on it. There you go, off an old Chevrolet. I don't know if that one's an 8 lug, it looks like it might be. But you could get a disc brake swap on that, and there's your front axle set up for your rat rod. Holy cow. Holy cow, holy cow. An old tractor. There's old chassis out here everywhere. One right there, I can't tell what it is. A lot of these things will have been stuff that you know, they cut the cab off, made a trailer out of the frame after the truck quit working. There's an old bump side cab, but it's been in a wreck, so not anything you'd want to mess with. Some doors and hoods for a Fords. Looky there, there's an old Ford F1 cab. It's got some dents, but man, that would be great cab starter for a rat rod, I think. Let's go look at it. It's more wide wheels for different things. That's an F3, so that would have been a 1-ton, I think. But it won't matter for the cab. That's just a, wow, that's an excellent cab to start a project with. That's even better than the one I started with for my rat rod, although it was admittedly a little older. I'll bet you don't even have rust in the floors. So dashboard's been stripped out, but that's okay. You're going to want to put gauges in it probably anyway. That would be primo. I would love to get a hold of that thing. Yeah, no rust down there in the quarters. Shoot, there's an old bed. Now that is a long bed with 4 stake pockets. I've never seen one that long before. but that's something that could be cut down. You could probably even get 2 stubby beds for your rat rod. Oh my gosh, there's a Chevy Corvair van. All right, we'll get over there. Early 60s Ford. Yeah. There's even an old bicycle in there. Old one. See what else kind of treasures I'm seeing here. Wow. Wait till we get over there. Another F1. There's a 54 F100. They're not a 100, I'm sure, but a F-Series. Old school bus. Yeah, let's go here. Gotta watch out for rattlesnakes out here. I'll be darned. Some collector would die to have that. Got the front suspension in it, but the rear end is gone. It's got some rust damage, but there's some good parts on that baby, at least, if not. Oh wow, there's the front end for that F1 cab over there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Look at that. 57 Ford. I don't know if that's a Fairlane or a custom, but front clip for it. Not rusty. Could use a little body work. What we got here? That one's not quite so good. A Pontiac? I think that's what that is. I'm not 100% sure. Oh wow, there's the 57 Ford that everything came off of. It's a 4-door. Looks like it's a custom instead of a Fairlane. And then we got this little bugger. I think that's a Rambler, but I'm not positive. Get around the back of it and see if we can tell. That is a Mercury Comet, like 64-ish, 4-door. And 4-doors are starting to become more popular now, especially for a low buck project like we do here at Crazy Dad's. Still got the rear axle in it. No rust. You could make a fun little cruiser out of that baby. What is this thing? I cannot tell. Not something I'm familiar with. There we go. What's that say? Can't really read that. Huh. Can't get in real close there. Oh. Yeah, I can't read. It's got a button in the middle of the horn, but I can't tell what it says. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it's a 2-door too. That could be a fun little gasser type of a project. That's interesting. I'm going to have to dig a little bit farther, see if I can tell what that one is. Got all of this old stuff out here. It's mostly farm equipment, I think. Yeah. There's our Ford again. I used to have one of these right after I got out of high school. Mine was a 2-door 57 Custom 300. Man, that's when I find rust-free stuff, being from Idaho and Utah, I like drooling all over myself because of the amount of rust repair that we normally end up doing on stuff. Let's go see what else we got out here. Old motorbikes. There's a old Yamaha 250 dirt bike. What's that one? There's a little Honda. That's probably a XR80 or its predecessor. Yamaha Champ. I've not even seen one of those before. Fun. All right. I'm going to pause right here. Walk over to the next thing. Well, looky there's another pile of potential front axles for your project. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least of them. All right, this is being a blast for me. It's everything I hoped it would be when I headed out here. What else we got? There's an F6 over there. Let's go check it out. Decently repairable bed for your late 60s Chevy. Boy, there's all kinds of crazy stuff here. Sorry, can't keep track of where I'm going with everything. What else we got? F6. Man. Again, exceptional rat rot material here. Look at this thing. No rust in the cab back there. The roof's been caved in, but you know that happens a lot with these trucks. Mine was the same way. I was able to fix it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see in there, but that one's pretty much intact inside. Great candidate. Great candidate for a rod project there. Yeah, I may be back down here with a trailer if I can get a hold of my friend here. Now this one is fun. This will be, I don't know exactly the year. I had a 54 F100 years and years ago. I'll check that out. It's an old Stingray bicycle. Huh. That's the first complete one I've seen in a long time. Most of them got torn. Ooh, man. All right. Yeah. Let's get around the other side of this one. This one had some rust down there in the cab corners on it. Roof's been caved in. But great candidate for a project. Huh. There's a nice pristine bed that could be shortened and used for that step side back there at the house. Let's see. Yeah, looking at the grill, I'm guessing that this is a 54. Can't remember for sure what the differences are, but it says V8, so that's probably got a flathead V8 in it. It might even be a 53. If it doesn't have a flathead, that'll be probably the first year or so that they came out with the 292s in them. Look at this one. Now this one is beat to snot. Look at that. But I don't know. I could make something out of it. And I'm not even sure. I think that's a Ford. Let's look closer inside. No, it's not. It's not the same as mine. It may be older though. My rat rod's a 46. I don't know if this is a Ford or a Chevy, honestly. It's got an ID tag over there if I can get where I can see it. Nah, I really can't. And I hate stepping into stuff in these things out here because there could be snakes under there. All right, flip around here. There's kind of a interesting late model. Late for me, not for a lot of you guys. Oh man, there's so much cool stuff here. Huh. Holy cow. Look at all of this. This is amazing. So this is a Mercury Cougar from about 76-ish. I used to have a T-Bird. It's a 76, which is the same car. Some of these actually came with a 460 in them. I don't know if we can get that open or not. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about digging into it. But yeah, I've been bashing on that other side, but it's a rust-free one. Some guys like making lowriders out of them. Here we got an old Dodge. Yeah, this one's probably a 1-ton. So they had an old straight 6 flathead motor in them. Still there. Got some rust here and there. The cab corners are not. Got a little rust on the doors. Back of that cab's in nice shape, but the roof's been caved in. Looky in there. Again, this would be an awesome rat rod project. Just awesome. Missing the axle, but you could shorten and modify that frame and Z it so you could drop the back end, put a different front end under it. You could have yourself a pretty fun little rig there. What is this? I want to say Anglia, but I'm not sure. It's a 2-door. Can we say gasser project? Or something. This could be a blast. And man, it's not rusty. It is an Anglia. I don't know enough about them to know years or anything, but that deck lid's a little caved in. It's had some Bondo work done. A little Bondo on the doors and stuff here. But that freaking car's complete, pretty much, guys. Holy cow. $58,000 miles. I'm sure they got a little tiny 4-cylinder in them. But yeah, that thing's got all kinds of potential, for sure. Man. I had I had an idea, but I wasn't very sure what all was actually out here. This is pushing my hot buttons. I may have to see if I can get a hold of my friend, see if there's any way we can get some of this stuff pulled out and used or sold or whatever, because it's just gonna sit here forever. Okay, here's one of my favorites, these old late 40s, early 50s Chevys. This is a 6400, so it's probably a 2-ton or 3-ton. Man, and up in my neck of the woods, these things are all rusty, except in these big trucks. This one does have a little rust in the cab corners. Not bad though, the floors are pristine in it. And it's pretty complete. Roof's been caved in a little bit, but not bad. This is a very repairable project here. Doors are in good shape. Got some work down there. It's had some, yeah, it would take some work. Man, got a nice hood on it. So yeah, fun. This, I think, is an old Dodge 1-ton chassis, 4-wheel drive. Pretty sure that's a Dodge. Haven't messed with one in so long I can't remember. Small block Dodge, I think. Yeah. Shoot, even something like that. It could be a frame project for you to set a cab off of something on. Maybe even one of these old Dodges. Set it on that, put a dropped axle under it. You could have a lot of fun. 4-wheel drive Ford truck. Too new for me, like I said. Let's check this one out. Man. I think I even used to know the people that owned this one when it was a delivery truck for their fuel place. Man, that thing. I'm not good on my Dodge years, but that thing is in excellent shape. No rust. Looks pretty complete. Full of pack rats. You know, pack rats, you could have floor rust problems, but not always. Yeah, missing some pieces of the grill. They might be on that other one that we looked at over there. But I bet the motor's in there. Shoot, with that fuel tank on the back of it, this would be a fun restoration project, even just to restore it back to driver status. But anyway, with this one, probably all the parts to do that are out here somewhere. It's just crazy. It's another old Ford. That one has been in a fire, so not anything we'd want to mess with. Besides the year of them, I don't know. Not a big fan of these things anyway. But I am a fan of that. That's an F2. That's a 3/4 ton. Oh, that would be a fun one. And all the pieces for that project are here. Got a little bit of rust up here in the front fenders, which is real typical on those, but not bad. Yeah, I guess it is kind of bad. You got rust down there. Running boards are rusty. You do have some rust in the cab corners. Okay, so this one's not as great of a project as I first thought, but it's doable for a rat rod. This would be excellent. Excellent. Great patina on it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the back of that cab is usable. The roof's in decent shape. And being a 3/4 ton, it was actually a pickup at one time, I'm sure. You know, that's a very, very doable project. Yeah, especially if you're just after the cab, because you got enough rust in those front fenders that you might not want to mess with it. But if you're just after a cab for a fenderless project, oh, there's the hood for it too. That would be a great starting point. I don't think we got to this one yet. This is another old Dodge. This one is older. Like, I'm going to say 30s or 40s maybe. And a big one. But again, no rust. Roof's caved in, but that's fixable. Let's see if I can get that open yet. Wow. Old Coke bottle. Don't see those anymore. Somebody's bicycle. That one's complete though, inside. Wow. Yeah, that's a definitely doable project. Definitely doable. Huh. Wow. Yeah, so anyway, I hope I don't bore you guys to tears with this stuff, but I love going out and finding these and looking at the potential that exists out here. A little bit of rust down there, but really that one is pristine, ready to make somebody a really cool driver. All right, see if there's anything that I've missed out here. Who knows? There are some real scores out here if I can get a hold of these guys and talk them out of some of this. I don't know. Probably won't even hardly have time while I'm down on this trip, but it would sure be fun to find out. Let's do this one. This is a cab for another old Ford. Yeah, this one's a little more rough. Got some rust issues down there in the bottom. Pretty good dent on that cab corner with some rusty cab corners, a caved in bed, but I got a nice dash in it. Yeah. Cool. Well, there you go. That's going to be a wrap, kind of, I guess. There's a bump side Ford cab on on this one. It's got a little rust in the corners, but pretty straight. Well, that's interesting. So my bump side that I just did, look at the dash pad here, if you can see that. Mine only had a cap on the front of it, I think. Yeah, maybe it did come all the way up there, I don't remember. But on these, you can take that vinyl pad off and you got a nice metal dash underneath them. So they're very cool. You don't have to restore that in the process of everything. All right, well, as you can see, there's been some really cool stuff out here. I'm going to go back up here and do one more thing. I want to see if I can get a picture of that one little car over there that I couldn't identify. See if I can get a picture of the steering column, see if that'll tell us anything about it. I don't know if I can even get close enough to it to want to stick my hand and feet in there. Yeah, I gotta wade our way through all this stuff. There's another where there was an emblem, but I can't tell what it said. Yeah, I can't get to where I can see. I think that's just got an emblem on the steering wheel. Huh. See if by any chance it says anything there. Nope. Yeah, well, for now, that one's going to go unidentified unless somebody on the channel can tell me what the heck it is, because I'm not finding it. It says something right there where there was an emblem on the panel, but I can't read what it said. So anyway, it's our mystery car. It's some kind of cute little two-door sedan of some kind. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that's Eldon here. I'm going to sign off for another episode of Crazy Dad's Garage with Yeah, It's Still Possible series. We still find these things all over the place. There you go. All complete except for the lens. Cool. Yeah, these things are everywhere. Some of them you can talk people out of. Others of them people still think they're worth their weight in gold. And sometimes they are. That's probably the hood to the Comet. Anyway, sometimes they are. But out here, the things that we've found, you know, I don't think there's anything that's super collectible. But when we're talking in the low buck hot rod categories, I'm not talking about collectible stuff. I'm talking about stuff you can go out and build yourself a really fun little driver like my rat rod or some of the other projects that we've done here. And this little hillside out here in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, has a bunch of them. I think we've seen everything that's sitting out here today. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Some of you will, some of you won't, and that's okay. That's what the whole thing, process of YouTube's about. But I'm going to head back now towards my car. I got other important things I got to do. This was mostly just a sideline. Came down here actually for my dad's funeral. We're going to be burying him, having a memorial service for him back here in the area where he grew up. So that's what I'm here for today, but it's all right. Things are all good. It was a good thing for him that he finally passed on, so we're not feeling a lot of sadness from that. And he would be out here walking with me and having fun doing this just like I am. So there we go. Everybody needs an old school bus, right? Well, enjoy everyone. Hope you had a fun time watching me today and have an awesome day. We will talk to you again from Crazy Dad's Garage.